COVID-19 certainly led some people to put personal grooming on hold or change it up. First, we had salons closed. Then maybe you know someone who's chosen to physically distance from the razor. Maybe they've grown a beard during this time. Well, beards require some maintenance. That's something Christopher Schneider certainly knows about. He is a sociology professor at Brandon University. He is also an expert in beards. Literally, he writes books about them, studies beard culture. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So I understand you're involved in this new beard oil. Tell me all about it.
So there's a new beard oil that I've collaborated with Nickel City Beard Blends, and we've called this oil the Professor. And what we're trying to get out of this oil is that fall feeling of the crisp air and the leaves changing colors, kind of invoking this idea of what the university and college campus sort of might smell like. And Steph at Nickel City Beard Blends reached out to me at the start of, right before the pandemic, sort of it was named the pandemic by the World Health Organization, and asked if I wanted to try some of their products and sort of respond to it in a blog. I agreed, because one thing that really piqued my interest with Nickel City Beard Blends was they donate a portion of all of their proceeds to charity. I've been contacted by other beard oil companies, but Nickel City Beard Blends was different in that way, and I donated in the spirit of generosity, their spirit of generosity, the full retail value of the product they initially sent. And then Steph and I were chatting, and this idea of the Professor beard oil came up, and we thought that we would collaborate on this new beard oil. And this is just another extension of my research. I am not making any money off of this beard oil, and the portion of the proceeds go to charity, which is why I'm involved in this. And I'm also very interested in the beard oil production process, which is why I agreed to do it.
So there's the interest in the process, there's the interest in being good to the world and charity, but what is it about beards that caught your interest in the first place?
Well, I grew my beard out following a divorce. It's a familiar story, I know. And I started looking online for ways to, tame my beard. And we're seeing men now and people who are growing beards, the pandemic beards, they're calling them. And I noticed I've discovered a whole world online. I mean, not surprisingly, of people, men, talking about their beards, how to groom their beards, what oils to use, what balms and products to use, and I was blown away by it. So this piqued my interest in beard culture and the ways in which men primarily will organize around their beards and beard as status, and for lack of a better way of putting it, kind of grow out with other men. It's largely a positive space for men to express admiration of other men's beards and face follicles, and telling them they have a beautiful beard and it's gorgeous, and sharing heart emojis, all types of things you wouldn't expect to find in a kind of a rough and tumble online beard culture. At least that's what I thought before I started researching it, and that's what got me interested in it.
And it's not so rough and tumble after all. Is there something psychologically good about being able to bond like that and soften your boundaries a bit?
Absolutely. We're hearing a lot about, and we've been hearing about, toxic masculinity and trying to move away because it's toxic. And the online beard culture, there's a whole world out there of men who are doing just that. They're embracing other things that you might not consider to be associated with masculinity, like telling other men that love you, bro. Strangers that you're meeting online. There's a worldwide organization, for example, called the Bearded Villains. And to join the Bearded Villains, you have to have a beard and an Instagram account. They have claimed that they are the largest beard club ever in the history of the world. I have not personally verified that claim, but they're, I think, in over 80 different countries. There's like 150 plus chapters. And these are men who are communicating online with other men just because they have beards, in a very sort of positive way, and embracing charity, for instance. That's another one of the hallmarks of the Bearded Villains and some of this culture. And I think it's really great, and it's a way of really moving away from toxic masculinity.
Christopher Schneider, thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck with the Professor Beard Oil.
Thank you so much for having me.